Hello, my friends, and welcome to a Brotato Danger 5 challenge run. We're going to be playing on vanilla and doing a particularly hard challenge that I've tried a couple times, but that I think is, with unsuccessfully, but that I think is really cool. Before I begin, I do want to quickly thank a few people. So thank you so much to Charcy Uwu for the $5 donations, Rachel Nojams for $5, Cyril Leron for €6, merci. T. Browns for the $5, Joey Central for the $10, and Andy C. for the $5. Thank you so much, everyone. I really do appreciate it very much, and thank you so much for your generosity over the holidays. Yeah, as always, really appreciate it. It means a lot. Alright, so the idea here is we are going to be playing the Get Off My Lawn challenge, where I'm going to be playing the Old using the Screwdriver. The Old has a tiny map and slow-moving enemies, and so is one of the characters that's best suited to using the Screwdriver. But with sort of weaker economy, thanks to the fewer enemy spawns, and without any way to increase damage of the Screwdriver or the engineering, it's extremely difficult. It also, of course, the Old's biggest challenge is actually killing elites, which the landmines don't help you to do at all. But it's so much fun watching the enemies slowly inch over these landmines, which can very quickly fill the entire map, that I really enjoy this challenge. So hopefully we get it this time. This is my third attempt. Let's see if we can make this work. Gonna go to Danger 5 with the Screwdriver and give this one a go. Also, of course, it's very appropriate to the flavor of the Old. You've got this property covered in landmines. I'm going to try to pull all the enemies together so that we hit them all with single attacks. We can. Oh, I was hoping that one would trigger the landmine and I wouldn't have to run over. We'd have ended up with a couple more materials if they had triggered the landmine on their own. This worked out pretty well because combined with the 11 points that we got from harvesting, we made 54 in the first round with lower enemy spawns on the Old. That actually means we did very well in terms of our first wave income, which is important because the really critical thing about this is getting our economy rolling early. Speaking of rolling, we're going to roll for harvesting because the Old starts with some harvesting, so it's really good to boost that. So I'm going to spend at least 5 on trying to find some harvesting. We got extremely unlucky, so I will take melee damage here. I think that's better than percent damage. I could also just take 3% dodge. Up until the mid-game, a big chunk of our damage will come from just our Screwdriver attacks. So while these things will not affect the damage of our landmines at all, they will help us clear just with our attacks. I think actually I am just going to take the dodge, though, because we will want to build defensive stats eventually. That was unfortunate that we rolled twice and didn't see any harvesting, but I think it's still probably incorrect to keep rolling too much, because we also need to roll very aggressively for Screwdrivers here. I should probably do the math on like how many times we can roll and purchase a Screwdriver, given certain breakpoints of held materials, but that seems like a lot of work, so we're not going to do that. I'm going to buy the Screwdriver here. I do need to increase my speed, but I'm not going to lock the beanie because there's a couple items that are so valuable for us, mostly bag and fertilizer, stuff like that, but I think it's worth rolling for really important items to lock. I'm going to buy the Screwdriver here as well and roll again, and alright, we'll definitely just take a weird food in a tree, and then we'll roll again for a Screwdriver, and so I needed to save 2 more money, I guess, if I wanted to be able to roll and buy a Screwdriver, because they cost 12 each. So if I'd either made 2 more materials that wave, or only rolled for harvesting once in the level up screen, then I'd have been able to purchase 1 more Screwdriver. So it's kind of interesting to reflect on that. Still, 4 with a 5th locked is pretty good. One of the advantages of Screwdrivers is that they're very cheap, so you can usually manage to pick up a lot of them in the early waves. Remember, you can step on your own landmines to trigger them. You want to... Oops, I shouldn't have canceled that guy's spawn. You want to make sure that the landmines are hitting multiple enemies every time they go off, ideally. Nice, we got pretty lucky and got a crate there. That should help. I will take this mushroom. We'll want health regeneration later on, and then we are again going to roll for harvesting. And we did find some, and then I'm going to roll for harvesting, because I would really like to get past the 20 mark and start getting 2 per level, but with a level 2 dodge, I'm just going to take that. We are actually at the point where we can start building dodge pretty early. We'll need some max HP to go with it, but being able to pick up dodge early is kind of nice. We'll take our locked screwdriver and roll and buy another one, and then that one costs 14, so if I roll, I will be able to afford another one. So I'm going to roll and see if we can. We can't, but I will still just keep roll, or we didn't find one, but I'll still keep rolling to try to lock one. Screwdriver levels up extremely well because the landmine spawns more frequently as you level it, so it's very important that we find more screwdrivers early on, even if we spend a lot on it. That was a good spawn for us because they all ate that landmine and died immediately. Using my own, stepping on my own landmines to force the trigger there, making sure that enemies are dying. You can see we are really getting a lot of enemies dying across the map, which is really good for us. Near the end of the wave, I think it's good to just walk on all the landmines as much as you can. So I'm still interested in rolling for harvesting, but I think, again, I'll just take the level 2 upgrade. Engineering would also be nice, but honestly, the amount of damage that we do is not going to scale that well, because screwdrivers just scale really badly into the late game. So it's more important, I think, that we get our defensive stats online than that we really try to build up damage. That being said, we are still going to work on building engineering when we see it, but it's not something I'm going to prioritize too heavily over defensive stats. We'll take this. We do lose 2% dodge to buy the weird food, but it's still important. Do I want bait here? So that would increase our damage by 8%, which doesn't even give us one more attack damage on our normal attacks. I guess we would go from 14 to 15 here, probably, depending on the rounding. But the bait aliens are also dangerous. I think because we'll have landmines to help clear them, it's worth picking this up. We also get a free reroll. This is a really, really good shop. In fact, I'm going to lock this entire shop. Coffee, you might not think is good, but attack speed, one, it's still useful because we still do want to do damage with our actual attacks. And two, we might find improved tools, which, combined with attack speed, improves the spawn rate of landmines. So that's one of the best ways we can increase our damage. So we're going to try to pull these guys all over the landmines as much as I can. Let them hit that one. It didn't actually clear them out. I should have gone for them before that charge, so I took a little bit of extra damage there. Luckily didn't die. What I should have done is gone to attack them while their charge was on cooldown after they hit that one landmine, and then I'd have cleared them out much faster and without taking as much damage. That said, we got some extra money from that. Let me trigger that landmine, try to clear out enemies right at the end. I'll definitely take Baby Gecko. Range is actually pretty good on screwdrivers because they have a stabbing animation, which means that the range increases their sort of overall distance more, and also there's going to be materials all over the map. Even though it's a small map, it's still nice to pull them to us. This is a really interesting pick. I could take engineering to increase our damage, luck just because we have negative luck and need to increase it, or speed because we need to get our speed back to positive quickly. I think early it's better just to pick up the engineering here. Though maybe it's still luck is going to be better for my economy. We also have a bag locked, so I want to be generating more crates. I think because of the bag, I'm going to take luck here. I'll take 10% attack speed, I think, over 5 harvesting still, just because it's a level 2 upgrade, and that will help with our wave clear as well, especially early on. Upgrade, buy out this whole shop, and take our free reroll. Unfortunately, we can't use the handcuffs here. It's only 8 melee damage, but locking our max HP at 19 would definitely not be ideal. I will, however, be very happy to buy the dynamite. I will also lock the landmines, because that, of course, increases the number of mines. It's thematic and also good. And then, do I want Ugly Tooth? So Ugly Tooth is very good against elites, but would decrease my speed to -14. I think it's still worth it. We can repair our speed before we hit wave 12, hopefully. The way that you typically lose this run, and I've lost this run a couple times, so I'm an authority, is by just not having the damage for the rib cages and elites in like wave 15. Let's see if we can get this thing. Try to trigger landmines while attacking it with our actual weapons. Nice, we got it. And break the tree. Step on some mines. There we go. So one thing I'm actually going to be keeping an eye out for is the boxing glove, because that will help push the rib cages back and keep us alive while they run over landmines. So it's something that can actually work with the screwdrivers, which normally, because of their low damage, are very bad against the ribcage aliens. Boxing glove can actually help repair that. So this is a weird case where boxing glove is actually good. I'm going to take max HP here. That's an excellent find. We really badly need that. And then, great, get to upgrade our screwdriver and buy out a couple of these things and roll. Lumberjack shirt is nice for us because our actual attack damage is so low that it will be very useful to pick that up. So I'm going to do that, and then I will buy one more weird food. I will probably stop buying weird foods at this point because I want to increase my dodge still. And then I rolled because I knew I could afford another screwdriver if we found one. Head injury, normally a great item, but I think buying percentage damage is just not something I need to do like on purpose here. So we're just going to go to the next wave. You can see, because I haven't prioritized getting engineering, the landmines are no longer one-shotting some enemies. So we'd like to pick some of that up, so we're at least one-shotting all the small enemies. Would be it. So it's important that I find some engineering in the next couple waves. We don't need a lot, just enough to make sure that our clear speed is still going, because most of our plan for this game is to just survive in the late game. So we just need the economy to make sure that we're able to buy defensive stats rather than trying to aggressively clear enemies. Another tree is excellent, and great, we found 3 engineering. We'll definitely take that. Ooh, this is an interesting one. 4 regen or 9 HP. I think I'll take the 9 HP. I really would love both of these, but max HP is more important at this stage, I would say. Definitely take the metal plate. We have no armor, so that's going to boost our survivability significantly. And Weird Ghost, I think I will buy as well. We only have 5 regen, so we'll have to get some consumables. But with 2 trees, 7 consumable healing, and we'll have landmine spawns, which will kill enemies immediately. We should be able to heal up before we're in danger. That could be a mistake, but hopefully it isn't. I will pass on the helmet because I need to increase my speed so badly. And then here, I'm going to buy the coupon and the bag and the screwdriver, which is awesome, and lock the snail as well. We're going to really need to increase our speed. Maybe we'll just get Estee's couch and continue to use useless items for this build, since I've reduced my speed by so much. So I'm hoping that we get a consumable. The downside of doing the Weird Ghost on wave 7 is it means I basically have to clear the eggs. But we would probably have to do that anyways because this character is slow, so it's hard to dodge the slashers, and doesn't have high single target damage, so we would be suffering a lot if we let them spawn. You can see it is very satisfying just having the enemies slowly explode all the time, just marching across the map very, very slowly and just popping. I need, I don't know, like 5 more engineering, something like that, to reliably be one-shotting most enemies. We actually made decent money that wave. About 300 is what you're sort of hoping for on wave 7. I'm going to recycle the sunglasses. We're just never going to use crit chance, so I don't want to lose 1 armor. And then, yeah, I'll take another baby gecko. Why not? Here, I'm going to take 9% speed. I know I joked about Estee's couch, but obviously that's not reliable. I would like the regen as well, but just getting our speed back to positive is so important. That said, I'm going to decrease it immediately by buying the snail, but that's still a speed increase relative to the enemy's movement speed. We'll take the tree, of course, as well, and roll. Having found 3 trees and 2 bags and a coupon, I'm feeling like maybe this is the run. That's a lot of very high tier items. Let me re-roll, and we will definitely buy a book and a screwdriver and a screwdriver. Still no handcuffs for us, though. Roll again and buy another screwdriver. When you combine 2 level 2 screwdrivers into a level 3 screwdriver, you go from basically going from 4 landmines every 18 seconds to 3 landmines every 18 seconds, right? Because the level 3 is 6 seconds and the 2 level 2s are 2 every 9 seconds. But then you add in this one, which does every 12 seconds. So a level 3 and a level 1 gives you 4.5 landmines every 18 seconds, compared to the 2 level 2s, which give you 4. So it is more landmines to have this combination. I am going to roll one more time, I think. We don't need the tentacle. We just won't have the crit chance to do anything with that. Or rather, while we have okay crit chance, the screwdrivers are just going to stop killing things pretty soon. But I wanted to roll again because there's a couple items that we could find that we would buy, and we are indeed going to buy the mushroom. I'll also lock these 2. Getting to buy metal detector before going into wave 9 is also really nice, because that's when we're going to get a lot of material drops, so metal detector will have the highest expected return going into wave 9. Economy items, generally speaking, do way better if you can get them before wave 9. Walked right into that. Triggered my own landmine there, unfortunately, but that's okay. So we have all of the enemy slowing effects. We have Ugly Tooth and Snail, so we should be able to slow elites very, very far down. I would also take a Wandering Bot or something like that. Still on the lookout for a Boxing Glove, actually, and obviously just more defensive stats. Armor, HP, regen, etc. Our engineering could increase a little bit, although I think our clear speed is not horrible. No, I take it back, actually. We've only made 200 this wave. Our clear speed is pretty bad. I'm going to recycle this because I need to increase my movement speed. And here I'm going to roll. 3 melee damage, or 6 melee damage would be fine, but I'd rather pick up some engineering, something like that. I think at this point I will still take harvesting. We have 25 harvesting, so going to 35 will help pay for it. Will pay for itself pretty quickly. Now we can take the recycling machine, the metal detector, and the duct tape. That increases our engineering by 3, which is pretty nice. And I'll throw in a reroll here. Very happy to get a peaceful bee. That's one of the best items we can find for this character, of course, because we want harvesting and dodge. I wish we'd gotten these earlier. But then also we want to be... We don't really care about losing the 1 melee damage. If only I had 2 more materials, it would be way better, but... because I'd be able to buy the screwdriver instead of locking it, but we'll still lock it, of course. And then go to wave 9, and hopefully we can make a decent amount of money this wave. This should be a great wave for us, because it's a lot of low health enemies, so our landmines should be very good. At this point, I mostly like to stop considering whether I am, stop worrying about stepping on landmines specifically. We're generating enough that I'm mostly worried about maximizing my income the normal ways, just by attacking enemies, and I'm worried about dodging. The little bit of luck we got early, combined with the 2 bags, is paying off enormously. That's actually a huge portion of our income right now, because we've found 3 crates so far. If I had found a little more luck, that would even be better. And of course, the fact that we have so many trees, giving us more opportunities to find crates. Can we get 1 more before the end of the wave? Come on, give it to me. Nah. Alright, only 3. 3 is still pretty good, though. Alien eyes. We're never building percentage damage, really, so I'm just going to recycle this. We also have a recycling machine, so it's good to recycle marginal items like this. Pencil, of course, is good. And piggy bank, how likely is this to pay for itself? To pay 48 for itself. I think it will still pay for itself. With piggy bank, what you want to do is, if you find it in a crate, you should usually grab it, because just the marginal, like, leftover materials will pay itself back pretty quickly. So I'm going to pick it up because while 48 materials would be really nice, I think this will be worth, like, I don't know, 100 or so, 150. I'll check at the end of the game, over the course of the game. And also it removes piggy bank from the pool, so it improves our shops slightly. We have 9% dodge and only 12 luck. I think I'm just going to grab the luck here. I'd like to get to like 30 or 40. Here, obviously, I'm just going to take 4 armor. That's an incredible gift for us, a level 4 armor. This luck instantly paying off. I'm going to assume these would not have been higher level if I hadn't bought that luck, because correlation implies causation, as you know. I'm going to take this armor, of course, and that makes us much more survivable. Also, finding these dynamites is really nice, so I'm going to grab that. And Cute Monkey as well is a really good way for us to heal. Our healing currently is one of the weaker points of the build, so this is nice. We'll be dropping lots of materials, and we already have 2 geckos, so the Cute Monkey should do a pretty good job of keeping us healthy. Terrified Onion will cost me 6 luck, but I need the speed so badly, I think I'm going to buy it. I don't know if that's right, because luck is actually really good for this build right now, but speed is so important, especially because we're going to be hitting an elite pretty soon. Take the dynamite here. I will pass on the bait, I think. It was good to take it earlier, because we made back most of the money just off the enemies dying, but I think at this point I'm just going to roll past it. I'll definitely take plastic explosive. That's awesome, and we'll take the baby gecko as well. With +4 consumable heal, I could go down to 6 per thing to take an alien worm. It gives us 2 stats we need, and 6 consumable heals, still pretty good. So I think I will take the alien worm. Not an item I usually like, but it's an efficient way to buy 2 stats that we actually really want quite badly. So I think in this case it's justified. And then here I'm very happy to pick up a fertilizer and a shmoop. That has brought our max HP to a much more comfortable level, and our regen is starting to actually be an important component of our healing setup now, that we are over 10, so that's very good. More screwdrivers is kind of all we need at this point. Just, you know, stack our defensive stats and buy a few more screwdrivers, and I think we're doing okay. Still on the lookout for that boxing glove, which it's very possible I've rolled past. Also note the explosion size is going to help so much with our clear speed. Now these explosions cover like most of the map. Someone recently said, hey, can you stop playing the really fast Brotatos because it's hard to follow? Well, I hope you're happy, because we're playing the really slow Brotatos. Having lost some luck does mean we are finding many fewer chests, but with still 6 consumable heal and the explosion damage and size, we're actually clearing pretty quickly, so we're able to stay alive just dropping consumables and doing just pretty well in terms of income, actually. 500 on wave 10 is not bad at all. I'll take the chameleon, not because we'll use the 20% dodge while standing still, but just because 3% dodge in exchange for a stat we don't care about, I think is fine. Although I could just recycle it for 85 anyways. Like, would I buy 3% dodge for 85? I think I would. This is very close. No, I'm going to recycle it. I think there's just better stuff we could spend that money on. I wouldn't do that if we didn't have the recycling machine that made it very valuable to recycle. I'll take the armor here, just defensive stats. And tractor, one of the best things we could find. It's a pretty early tractor with only 16 luck too, so that's really not bad at all. We don't care about losing damage, and this will increase our income significantly. Take the cute monkey for healing as well. We could buy the strange book. That would let me buy elemental damage to increase my engineering. We don't currently have any, but we don't care about anything that we lose here. That would be a very speculative purchase. and might not pay off at all. But I think I'm going to go for it. Although it also means that anything I take that reduces our elemental damage also hurts our engineering. I think I'm going to pass on that. I just don't think that's correct. Immediately punished, we could have bought the energy bracelet, but that's not even a very efficient way to buy engineering. So I think it was right to pass there. Black belt, I think it's past the point where we would want XP gain. But I will take the mushroom, and defective steroids gives us back to 0 melee damage, which will increase the damage of our screwdrivers very slightly, but mostly just 2 HP for minus 3% attack speed. I think it's not worth picking that up either. I'm just going to roll past both of those. Take the book, and we will buy another screwdriver. And then these rerolls are getting expensive, and I have a piggy bank, so I can just pass here. And we'll just go to the next wave. Piggy bank, incidentally, has not paid for itself even slightly so far, so we'll keep an eye on whether that was a good pickup or not. So you can see we do still push the rib cages back very slightly, just because they have like negative knockback resistance, I think, is how it's coded. So knockback effects hit them more than they do other things, and even if you have 0 knockback, you still get some knockback against them. But you can see that as they start building up speed, they become quite dangerous for us, so I need to ensure that I am killing them before they build up too much speed. And that's why a boxing glove actually would give us a little bit of safety against these guys. Landmines doing pretty well still at clearing for now, just because of the explosion size and dynamites that we found. Yeah, that one rib cage was really hurting. Still making pretty good money per wave. All right, so the strange book would have been 4 engineering here, which we just have to recycle. So I'm just gonna keep track of how well that decision worked. I'll take luck. Luck is still very good for us. And then we will take a tree and a baby gecko. We've got a bunch of engineering, so I will just buy the Tyler here. This is going to help with wave clear for sure. And then I'll roll again. I'm really looking for defensive stats. Unfortunately, Vigilante Ring and Cyclops Worm, both normally excellent items, really do not do much for us, but I will buy the beanie. That's going to be very useful. Roll again and buy the beanie. Now we're at positive speed. And then I will just take another weird food. It looks like dodge, while I talked about that being something we could invest in early, just isn't really going to happen. Nuclear launcher is still probably good for this build, but I'm going to pass on it because that's against the spirit of the challenge. But I will buy a screwdriver, combine a screwdriver, and buy another screwdriver. So now we've got all level 3s. I think it's technically correct to pick up the nuke launcher here, because we have a bunch of explosion damage and size, but this is the landmines only challenge, so we're obviously not going to attempt to hit the elite at all. We're just going to avoid it, since we will never have the single target damage to bring down an elite or a boss this run. So I'm focusing on trying to keep myself alive and actually make some money this wave while avoiding the elite, which is sometimes hard to do. On these waves where you're just avoiding the elite the whole time, it's very difficult to also maximize your income. So it's something that I really need to kind of focus on. We'll try to kill this loot alien. At this point in the game, it's getting much more difficult for us to kill loot aliens. That took forever. But at least the landmines elsewhere on the map were still clearing enemies while we were trying to do that. Definitely taking a plant here, and we'll take another coupon for sure. Here, I think I do want 9% speed. We'll go up to 12%, and then I'll probably stop buying speed, but just because it's a level 3 upgrade, I'm going to take it. Another screwdriver. So when you combine 2 level 3 screwdrivers, you get exactly the same landmine income, because it goes from 6 seconds to 3 seconds. So 2 every 6 seconds to 1 every 3 seconds. That's the same. Slightly better on the level 4 screwdriver, actually, because it gives you more more frequency as well as the same number of landmines. And then we'll buy the level 1 screwdriver, of course. I'll take an incendiary turret as well. Still an engineering build, so turrets are still pretty good for us. And then we can upgrade another screwdriver and another screwdriver. Could have bought another fuel tank, so I am slightly regretting, I think, not taking the strange book. And also, actually, campfire would have been pretty good if we had that. So yeah, turns out that was a mistake. I'll take the cake here. And this is kind of interesting. So Bean Teacher is a lot of levels if I pick that up. Weird Ghost we could pick because we have decent regen. So I could just take the screwdriver and the Weird Ghost. I could also take the Bean Teacher. We will have a horde next level. I think I'm going to go for this, and I'll take the Weird Ghost as well. Lock the screwdriver. With no XP gain, 40% is a lot, so I think the Bean Teacher is going to be worth, like, maybe 2 levels over the course of the run, but 2 levels is a lot of stats, so I think that's worth picking up. Still looking for consumables to spawn here, so we don't just die, since we Weird Ghosted. Alright, there's a tree, so I'll run over and pick this up, and now we're safe. Having found the Tyler and the incendiary turret is also helping our wave clear a lot, I have to say, which does feel a little bit outside of the spirit of the challenge, but this is such a difficult run, or at least I've been finding it so difficult. I'm not too sad about taking the advantages that the game is giving us. We are spawning an awful lot of landmines, and with the explosion size, they are all hitting like lots of enemies, so that part is nice. +5 consumable heal. I think I'm okay going back down to +4 and taking the alien worm here. And then I don't want the glass cannon, of course. I'm going to re-roll this. There's nothing in this shop that we want. And I might re-roll this again. We've got 30 luck. I feel like we can take a level 2 upgrade. Yeah, I'll just take more armor. Here I'll take more engineering. Buy a screwdriver. This is where things get difficult. Wave 14 is going to be an extreme challenge because there is no way for us to stop the enemies from spawning summons. We obviously damage the whole wave. There's less space for us to dodge in, so that part's going to make it more difficult. And it's a horde wave, which means there's just going to be tons of enemies that we have to dodge. Take the defective steroids just for HP. I'll take the lemonade and the plant, both good defensive items. I will roll again, and fairy is, we basically could not have found a better item for us, of course. We have actually a lot of different level 1 items, so we have basically more than doubled our regen. Suddenly our healing is actually really good. Eye surgery does have some synergy with the incendiary turret. It does work on that, but I don't think it's worth picking up just for that. Do I care that much about Finn here? I think not. I'd rather have the luck. Normally I would take this, but on old you really don't need as much speed. And the lifesteal doesn't do anything or anything like that, and luck is actually pretty important. Similarly, I'm not going to take Poisonous Tonic. So again, we're going to save a bunch of money here for our piggy bank, which has still not quite paid for itself, but will this wave. So as much as possible, I'm going to try to hunt down the goobers as they get summoned, so that we have fewer projectiles to deal with. It's going to be difficult because, of course, our actual attacks don't do that much damage, but we do have... We got a little lucky because I've got the incendiary turret and the Tyler on different sides of the map. So they're contributing a lot of wave clear in places where we aren't and where the other one isn't. That was a very good spawn for those constructs. Go back around there and pick up some consumables. And because I've invested a little bit into luck and a lot into consumable healing, when we have these consumables on the ground, we can benefit very strongly from them. The enemies, of course, are waddling over our landmines. Wow, I was not even paying attention to how much money we were making. That's kind of an unreal income for wave 14. Dang. Obviously, it's a horde wave, but still, we made so much. Yeah, I'll take a fertilizer here. And another metal detector. At this point, the materials will not be huge, but the additional luck and engineering are really powerful. I'm going to re-roll this. I think I want defensive stats, mostly dodge at this point, honestly, but I'll take max HP as well. Continuing to upgrade our screwdrivers and buy an incendiary turret. Pass on the terrified onion. Upgrade screwdrivers. I'll definitely buy a sad tomato. We have so much regen that starting at half health is not really a penalty, but I'll keep buying regen. And another screwdriver. Yep. The pumpkin is actually mildly interesting with the Tyler because it spawns piercing weapons. Piercing projectiles, but I don't think it's worth picking up just for that. On the other hand, plastic explosive, this is that's a find. That's gonna massively increase the damage output of our landmines, and it stacks really well with itself because this is a radius increase, and as the radius gets bigger, each point of radius increases a larger increase to the area, so it's really powerful. I'll take the spicy sauce as well. We have decent health, so that's actually not bad. And then I think I'm going to pass on the rest of this. You can see we're healing back up. We started at half health, but we're healing back up almost immediately. Alright, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm feeling pretty good about this run so far. 2 incendiary turrets goes a long way as well. Incendiary turret is just really good wave clear for engineering builds. Unfortunately, it does mean that they're kind of doing more damage than our landmines, I think. But, you know, it's the principle of the thing. And we do have a bunch of explosion size and dynamite and stuff. One of the sad things about, at least without mods, is that you cannot see how much damage your screwdrivers are actually doing, because the damage tracker doesn't count the landmine damage, it just counts the damage from the attacks. So there's no real way to tell how effective they are. I'm going to recycle this, we're never going to stand still. And then here, yeah, I'll just keep taking luck. Luck is good for us, and I will buy 6% dodge. I think we can invest pretty heavily into dodge in the next few waves and gain quite a bit of benefit there. Upgrade these screwdrivers, buy another schmoop. Silver bullet, I just don't think is going to matter. Sharp bullet, I don't think is going to matter either because these both have piercing already. So I think we'll just pass on both of these. Roll again. Another tractor will pay for itself, so I'm going to take it. Take a gentle alien, take a coffee. Roll again. Alright, we'll buy a screwdriver, and I am going to still buy this boxing glove. For the reasons I talked about earlier. I think that will help a lot. It also, of course, is another unique level 1 for the fairy. And plant is more lifesteal. We've got every 0.16 seconds we get 1 HP, so 6 HP a second. Obviously, that's really good in terms of healing. Fairy is, as it often is for these somewhat marginal builds, especially the purely defensive ones, Fairy is the difference maker here. We'd have, I think, maybe still gotten it without the Fairy, but Fairy was such a good find. And the insane economy items that we got early. Now that we have a bunch of level 4 screwdrivers, there's so many landmines, and every time an enemy spawns, 8 landmines go off, so even though they're individually not doing that much damage, they're still killing stuff because of the large explosion size. Many landmines are now hitting the same target because the explosion size is so large. Still manually triggering my mind sometimes. Although maybe I should, again, focus less on that. Also, obviously, our harvesting is a huge component of why we're doing well. I'll take the metal plate. I'm going to recycle the peacock. We've got an elite coming up. Also, we just don't need it. We have high XP gain already. I will roll. I'd take the reflexes if we had improved tools, but I think I'm just looking for dodge mostly. I'll take max HP as well. Yes, more luck. Yes, I will sell a screwdriver for a level 4. Very slightly inefficient, but still good. And I think I'm just going to buy out this whole shop. The second boxing glove is very marginal, but will make it a little easier for me to survive against rib cages, and it also just gets me a free reroll, so it didn't cost that much. Baby with a beard doesn't have much impact for us because we have no range damage or percent damage, so we'll roll again. Crown, I don't think will pay for itself before the end of the game, so I'm going to roll past it, and then I'll take a medal here. The armor is going to be really good as well. All right, let's go and see what happens. So yeah, we still do not have the damage at all to clear the elite. But you can see now, because we have the double boxing glove, we are in much less danger, and decent attack speed actually. We're in much less danger from the rib cages. So I'm actually really glad I picked up the second one. Because this wave, the buffed rib cages are incredibly dangerous, and that's one of the easiest ways to lose with this build, I think, is a buffed rib cage. Because your single target damage is so low, it's very hard to actually clear those once they've gotten the buff landed on them, and eventually you're going to start taking deterministic damage from them because they move so much faster than you can, and you won't be able to kill them before you take hits. But with the boxing glove, we can just push them away. So I think that's like the key insight to this build, is that actually that boxing glove is shockingly good for the landmine screwdriver build, for old specifically. I could take this just for 1 regen. Is that worth 45? I don't think so. I think I'd rather just have the money. I'll take blindfold though, because we're still wanting to increase our dodge, and we'll take max HP. Lure, of course, very good. Even if we don't get the 2 loot aliens, if we only get 1 or something, it's still going to pay for itself, and the regen, of course, is excellent. We'll take another incendiary turret for sure. At this point, I'm going to decrease my speed just to buy armor, because I still just want to buy as many defensive stats as I can. Still going to buy coffee. Very, very efficient way to increase our attack speed, which matters a lot. And yeah, I'll take just a normal turret. We keep seeing Poisonous Tonic, which is normally an excellent item, but just not one that this build wants at all. And then we've rolled so many times without buying stuff, I'm just going to pass. I guess this piggy bank is getting some value just because we keep having these slightly bad shops. The worse your shops are, the more value piggy bank is going to get, because the more likely you are to pass with money in the bank. Alright, can we kill this loot alien? Looking like nope. Alright, we got that one. Can we kill the other one? The boxing gloves are making this harder, and the loot alien got a buff from the buffer, doubling its health. Which is very unlucky for us. Can I push it into... Nice, alright, it did finally die. I had to spend a lot of effort on that, but it's worth it, of course, for the crate, especially with double bag. I can't emphasize enough how important the bags, the early bags and trees were to this build coming together. With slow wave clear off the beginning, that money has been a huge portion of our income, which has allowed this build to really snowball. I'll just recycle this. I wouldn't mind 10% attack speed, but 100 materials is too good to pass up. We'll recycle this as well. Wandering Bot I'll definitely take. Slowing down enemies even further is good. And then I'll reroll this. We will take dodge actually over speed, because I want to increase that. I don't know if the bag... So I would need 4 crates next wave for the bag to pay for itself. Notice that bags have gotten us 690 materials so far. So I don't think the bag will pay for itself, because I'd need to hit 4 crates. On the other hand, that does mean bag can't spawn in the shop anymore, so I won't roll into more of them. I think it's actually going to be good to pick this up, because we don't care about losing the speed. We'll probably make back... We're probably spending like 9 materials on preventing bag from rolling again in the shop, which improves our shop this shop and next shop. So while this won't be an incredible economy purchase for us, I think it's still good to do. I'll take the luck, and do I want the move speed here? I think I will pass. I'm going to roll. And roll. I just want to roll pretty aggressively for stuff that's actually going to matter, mostly defensive stats. I will pass on the mouse, I think. At this point, more enemies is actually somewhat dangerous, and we're not worried about our economy, we're just worried about defensive stats. Compass I'll take, though. That's definitely a way I will buy move speed. Handcuffs, we still don't need any of these stats, so we're just going to pass on them. But I'll buy this, and not the fertilizer, because that won't pay for itself. Oh yeah, did I didn't buy the crown, right? I don't think it would have paid for itself. 81 to reroll, I will do that, just because it's one. We only have one shop left, so the rerolls are going to get really expensive anyways. We'll buy the Dangerous Bunny, because it basically pays for itself with this reroll. And then nothing else we want. Let's go to wave 19. Normally I don't not post losses. Like I would have been happy to post these challenge runs if the previous 2 tries that I did over, I don't know, the last couple weeks or whatever. I've just tried this like a couple times just for fun. But they both ended pretty early and in dumb ways, so I don't think there was much to learn from them. And unlike a random run or something for these challenges, I think, you know, it's not that important to see me lose the challenge in the stupid, predictable way. Alright, got 1,000, and we'll take a cake. So, as you can see, we got 3 crates, which is what I predicted, so we ended up spending 9 materials on removing bag from the shop. I think that was worth it. I will recycle this, and yeah, we'll take more engineering for sure. Here, I'm going to reroll this. We are level 26, so I believe we're guaranteed level 4 upgrades, and I'm just looking for something like 4 armor that will help keep us alive. More max HP. I would have taken dodge over armor there, but armor is what we got. And we'll take more armor here, more speed and engineering. Roll again. Nothing I want here. Roll again. We keep rolling screwdrivers after maxing our screwdrivers. I'll take the blindfold, up to 30% dodge. That's not bad. Garden, I think, will help keep us alive, so I'll roll that. I'll just buy that. And then shackles, we can definitely take. This is a great item for us. We'll take shackles, and I think the dodge is going to be more value for us than the HP and HP regen. 6% dodge, I think, is going to increase our effective HP more than the Schmoop would. And I'll reroll, see if there's anything fun in the last shop. Not particularly. Alright, let's go on to the bosses. It's still very losable at this point, although the Wandering Bot actually will help a lot, I think. All our incendiary turrets spawning in the same place also makes it much less likely that we're killing the bosses. Not that that was likely at all anyways, but you want your incendiary turrets spread out since the fire doesn't stack. Since these enemies are so slow, I think we'll be okay. I can just kind of kite around the outside edges of the arena, trying to avoid taking hits. But as the bosses, as they enter their next stages, they're going to be starting to do more dangerous attack patterns, so we'll have to be a little carefuler about dodging. A little more careful. I stopped moving and then something spawned under me. It took me so long to notice that and move. We still dodged it, but that was funny. It was one of those like, oh yeah, I'm still playing a video game moments. I'm also just walking into a lot of attacks, but it doesn't matter. It's hard to avoid, of course, on this tiny map. All right, we did it. that's pretty exciting. This is one that I have wanted to do for a while, struggled with overall, and really enjoyed. This ended up being way more fun than I thought it would be too, just in general, because we were able to get our 6 legendary screwdrivers. Because we got these dynamites and the plastic explosives, our wave clear actually ended up really high. But mostly, obviously, the MVPs of this run were 5 trees, 3 bags, even 3 coffees, 3 weird foods, just an incredible number of very high tier items, just 2 fertilizers, 2 tractors. Like, we got a lot of really good item rolls and a ferry and stuff like that. Let me just take a quick look at some of the economy items as well, just for fun. So the piggy bank was worth 204. I think we spent 48 on it, so it did pay for itself, but, you know, piggy bank always pays for itself, but fairly slowly. Would that 48 have been better right away instead of invested into 150 more? I think the piggy bank was worth it, but not as good as it maybe looks. What else? Our bags were worth 915, and of course we got up to 238 harvesting thanks to our incredible harvesting income. Ended with 81 regen as well, which is one of the higher regen numbers I've ever seen. Alright, my friends, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. This went pretty long, which, you know, it's a slow class, so a slow video. And as always, if you have, of course, feel free to leave a like, comment on the video. Both of those things help a ton with the algorithm. And, of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more of this and other strategy game videos. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.